In 1990, the internet as we know it was created, an invention of infinite possibilities and unknown potential. There are now over 2 billion websites currently in existence, a wealth of information, functionality, and social media. However, if you dig deeper, there lies more beneath the surface, the strange, bizarre, and dark corners of the net. Welcome to the Weird Wide Web.
Welcome back to the Weird Wide Web!
It's now a game show.
Oh, God.
Hey.
That's right, we got a soundboard, and it will be the demise of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it now. But we're back, episode 7. It's time to talk time again. It's time to go talk back in time.
What?
We're talking time again.
Back to the...
It's time to go back to talk about time.
As long as no one's trying to bang their mom, I think it'll be good.
No mom banging
that
in
took
this.
you way too long to decide.
I had to
if that
think
was in
about
there.
it. You know, it's a long one. It's a year-long mystery that we're going to be diving into. We're talking about John Titor, the time traveler.
The John Titor? Oh, wow! I didn't know he was so well acclaimed time traveler.
This is a mystery, like an infamous internet mystery that is still kind of going on today. I mean, there's no real solution to who this man is, but he claims to be a time traveler.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Just my idea. Don't want to like ruin it, but if I was a time traveler, I would just keep going back in time and taking away the clues and evidence that I was a time traveler. So I'd always be one step ahead of them. They'd never find out who I am because if they got close, boop, back in time. No, you're not. Now you're 2 steps back.
How does this benefit you?
I don't know, but I could be like a little...
Anytime they start... Wait, let me just make sure I get this right.
Mhm.
Anytime they start to think they know you're a time traveler, you just go back in time.
Yes.
You just move.
Like, what, the Central Standard
You
Time?
just move to a different state. I mean, that's essentially what you're doing. You're just leaving.
Yeah, I guess. It's the same thing as like moving to Denver.
Pretty much, yeah. That's where people go to die. God damn it. I feel like I'm on the episode of Sunny where they start a radio show and they just have the soundboard playing.
Yeah, that's gonna
We're
happen.
gonna bring our homeless friend on to talk about his scurvy. I definitely love time travel and like time travel stories and time travel movies. What is your like top time travel movie?
Ooh,
Because there's some good ones.
What's the one with Bruce Willis and Joe Gord-Levitt?
Oh, Joey Gordon. God. Welcome to the section of our show where we can't think of the names of movies.
Role models.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's he is him. They are the same.
Yeah, which
He
is
kills him.
let's say that's a stretch.
Yeah.
What, they both like kind of squint and they're white? Like, I don't... Who did that casting?
I don't know.
Well, whoever named that movie apparently didn't do a good job either.
Yeah, because I can't remember it.
What
And
is-
I got a rock solid memory.
Yeah, that's why you
Rock
write
solid.
everything down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
What about you?
Primal's really good. Primal is like, I mean, that's super, super nerdy time travel where they really like, the whole concept is like time travel.
What was the recent from a couple of years ago?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Lugal. There's been a couple though. Now that I think about it,
There's a lot of time travel movies.
there's a lot, especially
Yeah.
recently, and they all kind of
They do it differently.
yeah.
They all have like different ideas. I mean, Loki is kind of time travel,
yeah.
more like universe time travel. That was a good series. I like that.
Yeah, that was,
Excited to see more.
we're gonna get Michael Waldron on here. We'll get him on here eventually.
Yeah, we'll give him an interview about the other projects that
Kara.
I'm sure we can't name.
I'm sure you're listening. Come on.
Better be listening. We'll know. Now we'll know.
Yeah.
If there's not an email sitting in your inbox on Tuesday morning, we will know. But no, we're talking about John Titor. John Titor. It's either Teeter or Titor. I'm going to say it differently throughout this entire thing just to piss everybody off.
That hasn't changed across any of our previous episodes.
Correct. Still mispronouncing, still improperly reading. Yeah, we're talking John Titor, the time traveling man who showed up and then disappeared. So I'm gonna set the scene for you. I'm gonna take you back.
Ooh, time travel.
Actually, I'm gonna take you forward, I guess.
Oh, even more time travel.
The year's 2036. The world is repairing itself from World War III, a brief war in which Russia launched a nuclear attack against the United States, cities, China, and Europe. However, America was not as we currently know it now. Due to the public unrest and trust of the government, in 2004, the U.S. found itself in a devastating civil war. The fighting increased steadily, consisting of many Waco-style events that gradually increased each month. By 2008, the masses of the U.S. came to terms that their way of life, as they knew it, was over. The fighting continued to escalate, and by the year 2012, the whole United States was consumed by conflict. Only the intervention of a large-scale nuclear attack that decimates 3 billion people would bring this conflict to an end. The survivors of this war banded together and began forming new towns to rebuild society. Many congregated around universities as they held libraries with vast knowledge, recategorizing them as forts. Everyone has collectively grown closer, and life is firmly centered around family and the community. The capital of the United States has moved to Omaha, Nebraska.
Are you kidding me? The place Peyton Manning yells about? You're gonna say that's the capital of our country now?
Man, I'm not saying it is. I'm just relaying the world that John Titor is coming from.
Oh God.
I don't know. What do you got against Omaha, Nebraska?
Like,
nothing, because you can't name a single thing from Omaha, Nebraska.
Corn? Like, I guess corn is our staple food.
It's corn, incest, and the capital, I guess.
Awesome. Oh man.
However, the practice of large centralized government has largely dissipated. The destructive industrial complex that drives our society now no longer exists. The only societal complex that persists is that of repairing our shattered world. Here is where we find John Titor, stationed at a military base in Tampa, Florida. After serving 4 years, starting at the age of 13, in the shotgun infantry unit called the Fighting Diamondbacks, John now finds himself a part of a group of 8 time travelers. Their mission is not that of change, but repair. Specifically, John Titor is tasked with returning to the year 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer. The significance of this computer is that it is uniquely equipped with the hidden feature to emulate programs in both BASIC and APL programming languages. This feature is needed to prevent a Unix timeout in the year 2038. John is then also tasked with the secondary mission of collecting information from the year 2000 before he returns. With orders in hand, John gets into his 1967 Chevrolet with a built-in time machine and launches himself back into 1975. His primary mission is a resounding success, quickly obtaining the ever-important IBM 5100. He then recalibrates his time machine and accelerates forward to the year 2000.
What speed does he have to go?
It's stationary.
So he can just be parked and
He's just parked. Just a man in his car going through time. On November 2nd, he discovers the Time Travel Institute, a message board, and under the name Time Travel _0 posts the following. Greetings. I am a time traveler from the year 2036. I am on my way home after getting an IBM 5100 computer system from the year 1975. My time machine is a stationary mass temporal displacement unit manufactured by General Electric. The unit is powered by 2 top-spin, dual-positive singularities that produce a standard offset Tipler sinusoid. Way easier to write that than read it. I will be happy to post pictures of the unit.
Oh, I've heard that before in fucking message boards. Yeah, not gonna end well. Yeah, I'll post a picture of the unit.
Over the next few months, John would field many questions from interested forum users. John did set out 3 core rules for the interested users to abide by. 1. I will not disclose any information that will cause someone to personally gain by its knowledge. This means no stocks and no sports tips. 2. I will not disclose any detailed information that would allow someone to avoid death by probability. This means no earthquake or bomb information. 3. I will not disclose any information that may compromise any future actions by individual people or threaten their family and well-being. I will not disclose names or events associated with individuals. Though beyond those restrictions, John did not shy away from many questions. In January of 2001, he moved over to the Post to Post forums, a forum for listeners of the popular radio show Coast to Coast AM hosted by Art Bell, who frequently entertained the theories of time travel as well as entertaining call-ins from possible time travelers. John would continue to answer questions on these forums until his ultimate disappearance with his final post in March 2001. Though days before his final post, he does offhandedly mention that while going over his flight plan home, he's discovered his VGL holdover period is longer than he had expected. Because of this, John has decided to retrace his steps in 1975, then spend a few weeks in 1998. He agrees to take some compiled email addresses from users and send them to the net when he reaches 1998. With a final farewell post on the 24th of March, John Titor vanishes from the world line. As of yet, no one has come forward admitting to receiving any communication from John in 1998. With a bit of research, one can connect John Titor to the year 1998. We can do this through Coast to Coast AM, the same radio show attached to the forums where John Titor resided. In 1998, Art Bell would read a fax he received from a time traveler on the air. We're going to listen to that fax that he received.
Really hope. Click the wrong one.
Dear Art, I had a fax when I heard other time travelers calling in from any time past the year 2500 AD. Please let me explain. Time travel was invented in 2034. Offshoots of certain successful fusion reactor research allowed scientists at CERN to produce the world's first contained singularity engine. The basic design involves rotating singularities inside a magnetic field. By altering the speed and direction of rotation, you can travel both forward and backward in time. Time itself can be understood in terms of connected lines. When you go back in time, you travel on your original timeline. When you turn the singularity engine off, a new timeline is created due to the fact that you and your time machine are now there. In other words, a new universe is created. To get back to your original line, you must travel a split second farther back and immediately throw the engine into forward without turning it off. Some interesting outcomes of this are: 1. You meet yourself. I have done it often, even taken a younger version of myself along for a few rides before returning myself to the new timeline and going back to mine. 2. You can alter history in the new universe that you have just created. Most of the time, the changes are subtle. Sometimes I'll notice car models that don't exist or books that come out late. The oldest one was a skyscraper that wasn't built in a near-favorite store of mine in New York. Interestingly, when you travel in time, you must compensate for the orbit of the Earth. Since the time machine doesn't move, you have to adjust the engine so you remain on the planet when you turn it off. Unfortunately, it was also discovered that anyone going forward in time from my 2036 hit a brick wall in the year 2564. Everyone who has ever been there has reported that nothing exists. When the machine is turned off, you find yourself surrounded by blackness and silence. Whew. Now, most time travelers are trying to find out where the line went bad by going into the past, creating a new universe, and proceeding forward to see if the same thing results in 2564. It appears the line went bad around the year 2000. I'm here now, in this time, to test a few theories of mine before going forward. Now, for the future, you might want to know about. 1. Y2K is a disaster. Many people die on the highways when they freeze to death trying to get to warmer weather. 2. The government tries to keep power by instituting martial law, but all of it collapses when their efforts to bring the power back up fail. 3. A power facility in Denver is able to restart itself, but is mobbed by hundreds of thousands of people and destroyed. This convinces most that maybe we shouldn't bring the old system back up. 4. A few years later, communal government system is developed after the Constitution takes a few twists. China retakes Taiwan. Israel wins the largest battle for their life, and Russia is covered in nuclear snow from their collapsed reactors. Art, the reason I'm here now is because I believe a nuclear weapon set off by Iraq in the Middle East war with Israel might have something to do with the damaged timeline. I will test that theory and get back to you. Please pray that we discover the reason why there is no apparent future after 2564. So I couldn't resist. I thought that was quite a good fax. There you have it.
So that is I would say, the first ever appearance of John Titor in our world. Not in our world, but like interacting with other people publicly, is 1998. Because essentially he was there in 1975, but who knows how much he actually had to deal with people. But yeah, and then a few months later, he sent a second fax to Art Bell. Kind of rehashes a lot of the same stuff, just restating his missions, stuff like that. And then not heard from again until November 2nd, 2000, when he starts posting on the Time Traveler message boards.
Yeah. So I got a couple questions.
A few? Hit me with your questions.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
One big thing that stood out. So even with time travel, you have to deal with fucking layovers?
Pretty much.
So he said, I got a layover back to 1975, but I'm going to spend some time in the 90s.
I think it's not so much a layover. It's more of making sure your gravitational calculations are correct. Because obviously the Earth moves, so you have to gravitationally account for that when you time travel. Next question.
Duh. Okay.
Yep.
So he went back in time to 1975 to get the IBM 5100.
Yeah.
And then he stops in 1998.
No. He goes back to 1975, gets the computer. Secondary mission, collect information from our world line. Goes to 2000, starts interacting with people, gathering information, answering questions and all that. And then because of his layover, he says that he's going to go back, retrace his steps in 1975, and then stop in 1998 because for his own personal mission, which a lot of people assume was him fixing or at least mitigating the effects of Y2K, which he predicted was going to be a huge disaster, which you might come in and go, that's a big miss if you're a time traveler and not knowing.
Yeah. Thought about that. But yeah, if he does go back and mitigate it, then maybe
Exactly, in our world line.
he
So that's
saved it.
I don't know if he described it in that, but world line is our timeline. And essentially, every time you travel back, as soon as you land in that, you create a new world line. Yeah, so let's explore
More.
Yeah, I guess more. No, let's we're gonna dive into all the people that like research him and all of the points of, is he a real time traveler? Is it some hoax?
Is time travel real?
Is time travel real? Is time real?
Time is
Or
not
is it
real.
Cubic.
Throwback. Time is a construct.
A square construct. John Titor, a wild man. For many years to come, many people have gravitated to the John Titor story. Some discover him and become true believers, searching through his posts for all the possible predictions and info to inform our future. Others turn skeptic and begin exploring holes in his story and embark on a search of discovering who the real John Titor is. The first prominent place to start in unraveling the legitimacy of John Titor is to analyze his various predictions for the future. Many skeptics quickly jump to the predictions of the future John comes from as immediate proof towards his story being a hoax. Though our world currently is in a state of slight disrepair, we certainly have not lived through a countrywide civil war lasting 10 years, nor a World War level event of nuclear destruction brought on by Russia. Maybe I missed that. 2015? Cold nuclear winter, you think?
I don't know, but when they said government falls apart,
No, it is kind of scarily instigating martial law.
martial law, I'm pretty sure I heard something about a Texas abortion bill. Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah.
John Titor was right.
We can also look at his prediction of Y2K as another strike against his validity. He had foretold that this event as a huge disaster, with much of the population being wiped out, when in reality, Y2K suffered the same outcome as the 2012 Mayan calendar apocalypse. That is to say, absolutely nothing happened. All compelling arguments to dismiss this story as merely that, a story. This would be ingesting John Titor's words at a fundamental surface level. In fact, amongst his many posts, users could find explanations for these deviations. To a question about interacting with one's past self, John explains that meeting yourself is inconsequential to the future. As soon as you travel back, you create a new world line that deviates from your original time. He goes on to guess that our world line has about a 2% deviation from his world line, a statement that would push believers to analyze John's predictions with more nuance. Believers point to the unsettling reference John makes in his first facts from 1998 about missing skyscrapers in the New York skyline. Another point of credibility to John Titor's story is his description of singularities in use with his time machine. Many posters explained that at the time, his explanation differed from our current understanding. However, in 2004, 3 years after he posted about it, Stephen Hawking would revise his theory on singularities to an analysis that aligned with Titor's. In a similar fashion of validity, John's insight into the supposed secret feature of the IBM 5100 computer would also become true, though many dispute how secretive of a feature this was at the time. Believers also contest that John's Y2K prediction did not come true because of the detour to 1998 he took before going home, a detour in which he helped mitigate the destruction of the event.
Knew it. I caught on that too.
Yeah. You were like, let me hit you with this.
On top of it.
These predictions, though exciting, ultimately boil down to hearsay. Both sides can easily be talked away, whether looking at them to disprove John Titor or analyzing them to help prove him. Regardless, everyone needed concrete proof to put the John Titor story to rest. Many people sought to uncover this proof. Skeptics dove through the hundreds of posts to figure out who John Titor was. One of the most prominent skeptics on the hunt to disprove John Titor myth was John Rasmus, known as the hoax hunter.
Ooh, I like him.
The hoax hunter committed years to build up a case against John Titor. In 2009, Rasmus would post a collection of 88 users that appeared on the John Titor forums. Rasmus explained that John Titor created these accounts to further his story. He shows that these accounts have little to no history and all stopped posting around the time John stopped. Though, I would like to point out that when he was posting, this was like late 2000, early 2001, and the internet is like still very new. Like it's not like now. Like people aren't spending endless days just doom scrolling through everything. Like it was an event to like go onto this forum and like be engaged and spend so much time.
And I'm sure that forum was not on like a well-known like website or stuff like we have today. It's not like Reddit. It's like its own separate thing that only enthusiasts of that would find. So maybe they're only interested in John Titor. So when he leaves,
Google was only introduced to the public in 2000. Like
Yeah.
Google was not a thing.
Google was like Google Gaga because it was such a baby.
Baby, get him.
Wait,
That's
wrong
the one you went for? Okay, there we go. That's better.
I can't read. I'm like you.
Rasmus then went on to list his collection of suspects that he couldn't entirely rule out. Another investigator on the case to unravel the mystery of John Titor was an author, Mike Sauve, who wrote the book Who Authored the John Titor Legend.
Wait, I see the book.
It's on the table. Yeah, I have to say, he is one of the biggest sources of information that I drew from on this, as well as there's a YouTube creator, Wang, who did an excellent video on it. So, like, between those two, there was so much information.
So, Suave and Wang.
Suave and Wang. Wang Suave. However, in the book, he states that he isn't inherently trying to disprove the legend. He merely collects all of the evidence and presents the case for each possibility. Mike also went as far as enlisting the help of Dr. Andre Nini, a professor of forensic linguistics at the University of Manchester. With the help of some of his postgrad students, they analyzed all of John's posts and writings of Sauve's top list of suspects. They were eventually able to come up with their most likely suspect based on this.
Ooh, who is it? Who is it? Tell me.
We will get to that later.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
Not everyone was hell-bent on proving the John Titor story is a hoax. Many were true believers. In 2003, a user named Oliver Williams created johnwilliams.com. The site existed to catalog and archive all of John's posts, pictures, and diagrams. It also collected relevant current news stories that referenced or helped support the theory and existence of time travel. Oliver Williams was highly knowledgeable about everything John Titor, almost like how much an author knows about the backstory of their own characters. Clearly, this website was a creation of a true believer in John Titor's story. Oliver Williams believed in John Titor so much that he created a section to sell merch.
And he got a tattoo.
I don't think he got a tattoo.
I just thought that's what you do when you believe in
probably would
something.
get a tattoo.
'Cause you believe in like lenses and a used napkin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, these all wipe off though. Another true believer was an author that goes by the pseudonym Temporal Recon. Temporal Recon authored the book Conviction of a Time Traveler, which serves as a rather scholarly exploration of the validity of John Titor's claims. While not inherently proving the truth of John Titor, the book does do an excellent job of defending it against non-believers. Temporal Recon did reveal to Mike Suave that he is planning to release a sequel to his book that would be even more convincing than the first. He provided Mike Suave with the prepared table of contents for the second book that purports irrefutable evidence of John Titor's truth.
Like he already knew the table of contents ahead of time before the book came out? Is it proof of time travel itself?
This book, however, has yet to grace the presence of the masses.
Maybe not on our world line.
But a different world line.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I didn't expect, like, there are scholarly individuals, books.
Doctors.
Yeah. A doctor in Manchester. So, let's Be careful there.
Hmm.
Where I got jumped. Not a great place. Wouldn't
I
recommend.
feel like that's more of a personal thing, though.
But yeah, I didn't expect to have like full, there's like real analysis of all of this work that's like legitimate people diving into this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you brought the book. I figured it was just something you found on the subway, but
No.
it's legit.
It's actually a really good book. Like, when I bought it, when you buy a tiny little, like, $11 book on an internet subject, you don't expect much.
Yeah, because
But-
we all do that. Yeah, keep being relatable, yo.
I'm trying to relate to the kids. It's super well done. Like, Mike Swab did an excellent job. And he's not, like, cynical about it. He's not trying to, like, just purely diminish? Oh my God. Did I have a stroke? He's not trying to diminish the people who like truly believe in it. He's just like, he gathers all the information and puts his theory and the suspects of who he thinks may have written that story. And it's really interesting. He'll write a chapter of like his full analysis of that person and then post his full interview with that person. So you can just read it word for word. I was very surprised. It's really well done. It was a super interesting read. 10 out of 10. 5 out of 5. What's Amazon? I don't know. I didn't write a review.
Son, Jeff Bezos?
Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, you fucking nailed that one. Bo Burnham, an Italian accent.
Yeah. For some, the belief goes even further than knowledge of John Titor's story. Some even try to patent the schematics provided by Titor. And such is the case for Marlon Pullman. Though, was Pullman a true believer? Or was he the real John Titor? Working as a director of governance, risk and compliance product strategy for a reputable software company certainly gave him the knowledge to craft the Titor story.
What was the software company? Oh, fuck.
I think we should just go with that.
Yeah, I think it
Let
makes
me
it.
read that one more time.
Do it.
Working as a director of governance, risk and compliance product strategy for a reputable software company, IBM, certainly gave him the knowledge to craft the Titor story.
Oh, the 5100.
That, accompanied with a 30-page patent he submitted describing a time travel machine identical to that of John Titor's. Not even just similar in description, the patent also included, directly ripped from John Titor's posts, the schematics. This theory, however, would come crashing down when, in 2013, Pullman was arrested and pled guilty to second-degree assault and unlawful possession of drugs, an event that dashed all of Pullman's claim to being the true John Titor across all the Titor communities and investigators across the web. But if Marlon Pullman was not John Titor, who is?
I don't know. I was believing that because if you have a shitty name like Marlon Pullman, you're going to come up with something cooler.
I would say you don't. I would say you're laughed at.
I would say you do drugs and you get arrested.
You do drugs, you assault a woman, and you get arrested.
Hi, I'm Marlon Pullman.
Yeah, that's pretty on point. So now we're going to analyze some suspects. And I'm excited because this is the start of a new segment I like to call Niall Goes to Court. That's right. I'm bringing it back. I'm here to make that law degree you have useful.
Oh, shit.
You're taking these suspects to court.
Oh, I already heard you say hearsay before, and I was like, wait, I know what that
is
word
that
is.
a law term?
Oh.
Did I lawyer you?
Ooh.
Let me talk to you about bird law. So I have gathered through all the, discussions and skeptics
Objection.
and stuff like that. Well, is that a law term? Are you lawyering me?
I only did this in a classroom, not in a actual courtroom.
That's okay. I don't think this is set up anything like a court.
Can I approach the bench?
You're sitting on the bench.
Continue, Your Honor.
Very good. Erroneous. That's a law term. So I've gathered what I think are the strongest suspects in who is the true John Titor. And I'm going to read all of the evidence against them in my write-up. And then we're going to have you just figure out whether they're guilty or not. What you think? Because this now goes to court.
Ooh. Wait, so guilt as in guilty of being John Titor.
I would say guilty of being John Titor.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I didn't think this far. How would you like to hear?
I don't know. I'm so goddamn excited though.
Because you're in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. You forgot your wig thingy though.
I can go get my.
Did you get those when
my
you
black
graduate,
robe.
right?
Not the wig. I got a puffy. It looked like a pillow hat.
Mm.
If you get your doctorate, it looks like a pillow hat.
They gave you that before you attempted the bar?
Yeah.
I say attempted because
no. Yeah, we didn't pass.
we did go. Yeah,
Yeah, we
did
did
do
go.
that. But here, retribution. Retribution? No, a second chance. Travel back in time. Now you're in court.
Ah.
So how would you like this? Would you like to go through a suspect and then analyze that suspect, or do you want to hear all the suspects and then go based on that?
Ooh.
How does court work? I've only been to court once, and it was a taxi cab crash case.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't want to take up too much time, but can we hear more?
A taxi cab crashed into a man in his van and gave him long-lasting back problems.
Were you in the taxi cab or in the van?
No, I was in the jury.
Oh, you were just the jury. I thought you were involved in the case.
No, I was just a part of the jury.
Oh, I was picturing you like in the cab, in the back seat, like, no,
don't hit him.
there's a man in the van.
No, I was just part of the jury. We awarded him money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can talk about that now, right? I don't know how court works.
Yeah, no, you can talk about it. You're not allowed to talk about it beforehand.
Oh, I did that too.
Good thing apparently our whole civil system's done by 2034, so you're good.
2034? No, we're in a civil war by 2004.
Oh shit.
So any minute now.
But no,
So,
I
yeah.
think present the case for each individual. I will have questions throughout.
Yes.
So almost like
Court.
it's not cross-examination.
Oh.
The person isn't here, but you will.
I'll
act
be the
on-
person.
You'll act
I'll
on
act
behalf
as
of the
them.
person.
Yeah.
So then it'll be like a little cross where then you'll look at all these fucking words I learned.
And hey, learned and remember.
Hey, give me that degree, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, present each person. I will ask questions to try and get to the bottom of it, and then I will say thank you, and then
How
the
polite.
next person will come on. By the end, hopefully,
Yeah.
I will have asked enough questions, figured out, and I can present my final case for who I think is John.
Very good. So let's get into suspect number one. Joseph Matheny. No description will do Joseph Matheny justice more than the one he wrote about himself. Joseph Matheny is a pseudonym used by a plethora of evolutionary intelligence agencies throughout the galaxy, like Monty Katzen, Luther Blissett, or Saint Germain. You never know when or where he's going to pop up. He is rumored to never sleep, moonlight as a technology consultant, daylight as a fireproof vampire, live by the motto, non serviam, and almost never fail to leave a ticking time bomb behind. Moving on past the neurotic self-description, Matheny did seem to possess the knowledge to craft the John Titor story. He started working in tech around 1993 and made a considerable contribution to both Netscape and Adobe. On top of that, most of Matheny's notoriety comes from being known as the leading creator of Ong's Hat. Starting in the early 80s, Ong's Hat was most likely the first or most popular first ARG, existing on many Usenet forums and on photocopied pamphlets. The game used the format of legend tripping to build a diverse world in which participants visited known sites of folklore to progress the overarching story. Matheny stopped the ARG around 2001 and went on to publish 2 books about it. He ultimately points to its ending being the attention it garnered from the hardcore conspiracy theorists, a group which Matheny has, on many occasions, professed his disdain. While Ong's Hat does bear a striking resemblance to the JT story in terms of storytelling structure, it doesn't inherently connect the two. So where can the connection from John Matheny to John Titor be found? Well, he said he created it. Appearing on Project Archivist episode 138, He rather lazily took credit for the project. The hosts did little to push him for any hard proof or verifiable evidence. He claims that he was not alone in this pursuit and, in fact, was part of a group of 4 people who all posted as John Titor throughout the years. He cites his disdain for the conspiracy theorists surrounding Ong's hat as the driving force for Titor's creation. He wanted to create a story trolling them, essentially. After all, Matheny was a self-described culture jammer. Conveniently, and according to Matheny, none of the other contributors wanted to come forward and claim ownership of the Titor story. Matheny remains unpleasantly combative and light on actual answers through most of his interviews. This, in combination with the bombshells of information he boldly claims, leaves interested users following the story with little to no verifiable information. Matheny's claims do fall nicely into the hoax hunters' findings of false accounts driving the story forward. That's Matheny.
So with this whole ARG,
Yes.
it was not tied directly to Titor or the time traveling.
The Ong's hat?
Yeah.
No. It was its own kind of story, but it was similar in that it was this world he built, this folklore world that all these people latched onto and built this world because he would release little bits of information and fake folklore books that built on it. So it's like building this world story through ulterior methods than just writing a story.
So almost like Titor, but in a completely different.
Kind of, yeah. So in the sense that if we are looking at Titor as just a story, they're building the story of this time traveler through him answering questions about time travel on a forum post. You know, it's like not telling the story of John Titor, it's like living and figuring out the story of John Titor.
And this guy seems like a narcissistic ass.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, he is.
Great.
tough.
Thank you for your answer. So, when you get the answer, you keep it moving. That's what I learned.
Whoa.
Did I ever do it? Oh,
Quick tips with Niall Croak.
quick tips. Get pulled over, keep driving. Actually,
Oh.
stay stationary.
Oh, and time travel.
And time
Forward.
travel.
Throw it into drive, stay stationary,
time travel
calibrate your
backwards.
graviton. Oh.
If you time travel
And just
forward, they're
leave.
still looking for you.
Oh, that's true. But you're forward? I don't know.
Oh, he's a little further up the road. Let me
He's a
get
little-
back in my cruiser. Go get him.
Okay.
Okay, man. No, okay. So this one, gut feeling is I don't believe it too much. It feels like it's too much of a reach just to tell everyone everything about him, but he would have similar.
The reason that the reason he gives that he revealed himself as one of the creators and authors of the John Titor story is about this time, like, you know, after Titor is gone from the forums and stuff like that. There are documentaries. There's actually an anime called Steins Gate. It was a manga that turned into an anime that is based on John Titor. There are some people trying to option movie deals. So he said that all of that just got weird, and so he just wanted to put an end to it.
And my last little piece where you almost had me with this guy
Mhm.
was when he said he was working with a group, like a group of 4.
Yeah.
Really missed the opportunity to say it was a group of 8 because John Titor was a part of that group of 8 time travelers.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm gonna throw one more piece of information.
Oh, withholding. This
Yes.
is
Erroneous.
it happens.
There is one poster who mentions in the very first forum posts back in 2000 before they're on Post to Post, when they're on the Time Travel Institute. In a response, she references Ong's hat. And that's it. That's the only kind of connection of like truly a connection.
So I want was that maybe what
I would say as a piece of evidence, why that's compelling is if this is an ARG created by this man, then a lot of those accounts, like Hoax Hunter said, were also them. So they're just pushing the story
Pushing the story,
forward. So
yeah.
they're the ones asking the questions. So Why wouldn't he, this narcissistic guy jerk himself off and reference his other piece of art?
I guess in my eyes, so how did his name come up as a potential John Titor? Was it because of that connection from the first, like when people analyzed it, they went back?
He went on a show and he said, I authored John Titor.
Oh, and that's how it started?
That's how it started. And in fact, on that first podcast, he even mentioned, he's like, I'm even a little bit offended. Nobody connected my name to this story.
What a sucker. This guy just sounds like the worst.
No, there is...
I want to travel back in time and punch him in the fucking throat.
Yeah. Gut punch.
People
people
would cheer.
Crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is no, like, nobody drew a connection to him. He literally came out and he's like, this is mine. I did this.
All right. So then I have a couple of things to think about. Was he opportunistic? Okay. We got some thinking over to do.
Yeah. Definitely some thinking.
Who else do we got?
Next, so I assume that you can do this in court, is that if you have multiple suspects from the same family, you bring them up to court at once and they all share the seat, right? So we're looking at the Haber family.
Oh, yeah. They just have to sit, because we're not fucking animals in the courtroom. The heaviest person, just like a log flume, goes down first.
Okay.
And then you pile up on top.
Okay, so heaviest to lightest.
Yeah.
They're all little big boys, but our next suspect is the Haber family. While they align with Matheny in that John Titor was a collaborative creation, they differ because they maintain no involvement in the creation of John Titor saga. To this day, the three primary players in the Haber family are Larry, Richard, and Maury. Larry Haber is an entertainment lawyer that had previously worked for Disney. Along with his work connection to Disney, he and his family lived in Celebration, Florida, a housing settlement Disney had built. Not just that, he was actually one of the first families to move there.
Wow, I heard a kid got eaten by an alligator.
In Celebration, Florida?
At the resort.
Oh. Well, not in Celebration, Florida.
Why would you travel back in time and save the kid? Come on, Haber.
A fact. No, we're talking about the fact that he lives in Celebration, Florida. A fact that only becomes relevant when we search for John Titor's IP address from his posts, which was openly available at the time. Despite John claiming that he was in Tampa Bay, Florida, his IP address tells us he was, in fact, 66 miles away from Tampa in a little town called Celebration.
Oh, shit. And there were not, back then, you can do like VPNs or anything?
I mean, you probably could. A few months after Oliver Williams created the John Titor website, the John Titor, God, his name is terrible. The John Titor Foundation was formed. A foundation represented by Larry Haber, though he claims he was just hired by John's mother, Kay Titor, to do so. Soon, the JTF would release a book that cataloged all of John's posts, pictures, schematics, and more. The book would not last in publication long, and now sells for upwards of $800. Of course, Matheny claims to be the source of its removal, stating he called up Larry Haber and told him, "You're talking to John Titor, motherfucker."
Whoa, I like this. Oh my God, if we're in the courtroom, eyes are going between people like, oh shit, he said that.
Yeah. A fact which Larry denies, claiming never to have spoken to Matheny once. This alone does not prove Larry was, in fact, John Titor. Whoever authored John Titor possessed a wealth of knowledge on tech and physics, as well as a very astute grasp of possible future events. Soon, a private investigator hired by an Italian show called Voyager began focusing on Larry's brother, Richard. Through impressive detective work by the hoax hunter, a P.O. box was discovered that currently belonged to Larry Haber, registered to the JT Foundation. But previously being owned by John R. Haber, or as he's known on the internet now, John Rick Haber. The hoax hunter claims that this was Larry's brother, Richard. This evidence, combined with the fact that Richard was also in IT, was the smoking gun that the skeptics needed. However, Larry does say they have never referred to their brother as Rick, ever, and doesn't see the connection. They also explain that while the IT connection is convenient, Richard is a very low in the world of tech. This, we can now train our sights on the third Haber brother, Maury Haber. Maury was in the IT world as well, and even ran a blog discussing various tech subjects. Hoax Hunter went through and performed a writing analysis of John's posts and Maury's blog and claimed the two were identical. Unfortunately, like many point out, this was in no way scientific and couldn't hold any weight proving Maury was John Titor.
Objection.
Yeah.
Can't hold weight in court. Just like
'Cause
the
it's too
Haber
heavy.
brothers or the seat holding the Haber brothers.
That was the joke you wanted to get
God
to.
damn it. Court is serious. No more jokes.
Then, in 2018, Mike Suave would escalate the search by going on to enlist the help of Dr. Andre Nini, bringing it back, and his post-grad students to analyze John's posts with that of Maury, Matheny, Richard, and Larry. They concluded that Maury was most likely the author of the John Titor post.
Oh my God, it's when you bring in an expert witness.
They did clarify that this was only based on the material provided to them, so
That
other writing samples could be included and be an even stronger match, but of the info they were provided, Maury was there, man.
That's no lie. That's exactly what happens with expert witnesses. You just give them what they need to say what's going to help your case. You pay them the money, and they will figure out a way to make it work. But
So that's the Haber family.
that is
And I got one more after this, but if you have some
Okay.
cross-examination questions.
yes. So three suspects. Well, like we'll group them all together. 3 suspects together.
Yeah.
So Matheny.
Because we group them together because it's not, nobody is saying that it was one of them individually. They're saying that they created it together.
Yeah, the whole story. Okay, so they create this John Titor Foundation.
Yep.
What exactly is the purpose of the foundation?
So they release the book, start to sell it. That's 1. It gets removed. 2, Larry Haber starts optioning the John Titor rights to be made into a film, which starts to gain a bit of traction, but then goes nowhere.
God. Well, I guess back then, like with blogs and stuff, like IP laws, how do you defend
How
that
do you defend that?
if
Yeah.
no one else is? The whole IP address being in Celebration,
Pretty damning.
also being a Disney entertainment lawyer, understanding the benefits of like a story, how much you can get shit rolling. Like, what would this been? Early 2000s? Well, it would have been late 90s, early 2000s.
2000s? Can't think of Disney movies right now. I can think of what was going on the internet in the early 2000s. You're playing Bubble Trouble. You're jumping into the Haber Hotel.
Haber Hotel?
Habbo. You're jumping in the Habbo Hotel. I don't know.
I was like, that would, if it was a Haber Hotel, that's it.
No, but yeah, he worked for Disney. He's an entertainment lawyer. He understands the system. He knows how to build a story.
Oh, but that goes both ways. Maybe, like, is he just being opportunistic where he knows, hey, dude, I copyright stolen William Shakespeare and put it in animation all the fucking
Boom.
time for Disney. Why can't I do this for time travel?
Done. Because it sells so much better if it's based on a true story.
True. And then he's got, like, the 2 little fucking brothers. Hey, keep doing your computer shit. Come on, what else do you got?
Yeah.
Fucking
IT nerds. What are you doing? What do you know about computers? You know the 1510? Eh? 1500? What is it? I don't care.
So Celebration, Florida is now
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. This is initial, a little more compelling than than Matheny. That IP address is huge, but when you attach to like one thing, get dangerous. You start missing out on some of the little things.
What's the reliability of it? Like, we know VPNs exist. The technology exists. They weren't like commercial companies in that time, but I'm sure if you have two brothers embroiled in the tech world, you know how to spoof an IP address.
And if you work for Disney,
yeah,
they're fucking ultra protective of anything getting out.
It just seems, to me, too convenient or too sloppy. Either way, which way you want to go?
Oh, that's okay. Got a lot to think about on this one. Let's bring
Thankfully, our third and final suspect.
Is it the usual one?
What?
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, we took him out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. He's in court.
Yeah.
Our third.
It was Modern Warfare Me Too.
Me. Hashtag not me too. Our third and final suspect. This is a short one. John Titor.
What?
He's an actual time traveler.
I did not expect that.
Done. That's all I wrote up. He's a time traveler. It's real. Suspect number 3, John Titor. He's disappeared. He's out of time. You gotta get back in explaining time to people.
Oh my god. Wow.
So those are your suspects. There are Mike Suave had a larger list of suspects. I kind of narrowed it down to what I think are the most compelling of all that. There's another one. There's another really interesting person, Pamela, who was
fuck it.
I don't think there's no way she authored it, but in all of John Titor's posts, she is one of the closest users to John Titor, like actually cultivating a relationship with him to the point where they were just like talking out of the forum posts, like on their own instant messenger formats.
Yeah, they were.
She never talked to him on the phone. He gave her a secret song that he would sing, so she knows he's the real Titor when he comes back, if he comes back.
Was it what you've been trying to sing this whole time?
No, it's a B-52 song. Yeah.
Time Traveler Shack. It's a little old place where we can time travel together. No, and he also, because she requested, she was like, I'd love to just get one keepsake that traveled through time that I could keep and hold and know that this is my connection to you. And he sent her a 5110 computer plaque. It was. But he sent her a 5110 computer plaque. Shit. So she's another big player in it, but definitely no way she's actually John Titor. Yeah, she just seems like one of the people
So these are my strongest suspects. Take him to court, Niall. Take him to court.
Wow. All right. Anthony, he just seems like the guy who's trying to get in, being too opportunistic. I mean, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Not when it comes to time travel.
No.
You don't just claim you're the guy.
No. You claim that it's going to smell bad.
Yeah. I was sitting in my car. It smelled bad.
Rank.
Windows up. Bad.
Oh, yeah. You can't put them down. That's where your oxygen is.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to put him. He's gone. He's
gone.
innocent.
He's out.
He's innocent.
He's innocent. Get him out of here.
Get him out.
Send him to the clink. He's innocent.
Bailiff. Take care of this guy. Man. Okay, so we got what the fuck are their names?
The Haber family.
Haber.
We got Larry, entertainment lawyer. We got Richard, the dumber IT, and then we got Maury, the smarter IT brother.
Oh man. Okay, so the issue I'm facing is obviously with IT, you would be computers, you could get around that. Oh well, don't get around the VPN, whatever. But do you know physics? Do you know singularities? Do you understand singularities enough to actually put them together in somewhat of an equation that makes somewhat sense?
That's a good point. And people unanimously say that when John Titor was posting, he would respond fairly quickly. Like, it wasn't like you're on a forum post, you ask this question, day or two later, John Titor, oh, I got the answer. You know, he was like engaging in conversation. So that knowledge has to be there.
And so the real evidence is that Maury, the smarter IT brother, is the one who was writing these posts.
Writing, or at least providing all the information and knowledge, at the very least.
Because I'd say it'd be tough
Well,
to
actually,
say...
no, writing, because the writing analysis to his blog matched up. So yeah, writing.
Because initially it'd be tough for the first brother.
Larry, the entertainment lawyer?
Yeah, he's obviously very busy with Disney. It'd be very difficult for him.
I don't know that he worked for Disney that long. But yeah. Busy with Disney,
but
busy with Celebration,
you're a lawyer
and
dealing
all the
with
dead
shit.
kids.
Yeah. Celebration, dead kids. It makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it'd be the third brother, Maury, who just... When did the Maury show actually come out? That's what I need.
When did the Maury show come out? What do you mean by the Maury show?
Like the Maury show where they reveal crazy secrets and like you find out if your stepdad's been sleeping with your dog.
Maury is spelt differently.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Then they didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
Nah.
No. He's got... Okay.
I thought there'd be a connection to like...
So that, I mean, all that leaves us with the fact that John Titor is real and a time traveler.
I gotta be honest, that's the one I was leaning toward because it's just... There's a lot of information. Obviously, he could be a little wrong.
A little bit.
Time travel's gotta be finicky.
There's world line deviations. Of course he's a little wrong. All he can draw from is his known world line.
Yeah, and it's gotta be a little finicky when he comes across and sees other stuff.
Yeah.
You see yourself.
He warned us about Y2K in 1998. Of course Y2K is an issue. Come on.
Yeah. Also,
come on.
I want to say one of the biggest things that always happens when we talked about these movies. Like, oh, you can't see yourself. You see yourself. You're going to ruin everything. And he just goes, nah, I took a ride with him. I took him on a couple rides.
Oh, hey now. Took my boy, me, on a ride. Not a ride because we're stationary. Took him on a ride.
Oh.
Hey now.
Bigger question here.
Yeah.
If you fooled around with your younger self.
I don't want to think that, but sure, go ahead. I'll entertain it. This is a world of possibilities.
Yes. What is that considered?
Self-harm.
Self-harm?
Self-harm.
But what if it's self-love?
Is it a kid?
Like,
it's
you
harm.
guys are...
Are you both consenting self-adults?
Well, it's you. You consent.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's you, and you just hop in the back of your 1967 Chevrolet.
I feel like you could manipulate you. It's not a 67, yeah. 67 Chevrolet. You got it.
Well, I'm there. I got numbers, baby.
He did post pictures of the time travel machine.
Oh, so there's pictures?
Of his time travel machine in the Chevrolet, yeah. They have about 10 pixels in them because it was 2000. Yeah. There's not much you could tell about that.
Yeah, I think there... So, that's a great fucking point to kind of wrap this up.
Hello.
Why, throughout this time of everyone coming forward and thinking they're the people or whatever... Well, wait, so the Habers were denying it, right?
Yeah, all they say is that they represent the John Titor Foundation. They are merely there to communicate K. Titor's wishes. They also hint in one interview with a YouTube account that there's a John Titor farewell video. Nothing has ever come out.
Okay, well, that makes it a little more complicated because Matheny's on one side saying, hey, I did it. They're like, no, we didn't do it.
No, we didn't. We're just here to facilitate. We're facilitators.
Yeah, so in that sense, Matheny, you should have had more evidence. Where are the pictures? Where's any of the proof?
Something.
Yeah, you would have pictures.
If you're coming
out of here.
If you're coming out and revealing that you're Titor to stop people from claiming they're Titor and making movies and financial investments from Titor, bring proof.
Yeah.
Are you really trying to prove it? But also, man, the ego is real big on that motherfucker.
That guy's an asshole. Fuck
yeah.
him.
You're talking to the real John Titor motherfucker.
Yeah, what a dick. Fucking hate that guy. Oh, so the only other question I would have is, so they mentioned the mom, K. Titor.
Yes.
Is there any proof? Has there been
no
any
record
proof?
of her?
No record.
Ever.
No record of her or John Titor?
Nope.
Well, I just want to say at the beginning of this, before I knew this story, I said if anyone was coming on to me and getting close to figuring out who I was, I would go back, change that a little bit, and make sure I throw them off the scent.
He grabs his mom and takes her away. there is also another possible theory put forward by the Habers via a note passed from K. Titor, written by John Titor, explaining that there could be multiple Titors on our world line coming to visit, that a lot of those posts could be multiple Titors. The facts could be a different Titor than the posts in 2000, hence why some things don't line up exactly. And I have one more thing to throw in a little wrench in the gears, I would say. In analyzing the forensical linguistic analysis of this, there's one more revelation that Dr. Nini came to. John Titor was 100% not a time traveler. Specifically, they analyzed the fact that he writes website as 2 words, and we know from today that naturally that combines into one word, and that would combine into one word in almost every world line, if you believe that. So probably not a time traveler. And I think that guy is a hack. Because John Titor is a fucking time traveler, and I will not be told otherwise.
I was going to say, and that's why I didn't pass the bar.
Well, that is our fucking John Titor episode. I think this is such a dope subject. It's so
cool.
much fun. There's so many people so invested. I mean, Hoax Hunter, before he released that list of people and analysis, I mean, it was like 10 to 12 years of research.
Yeah, that's insane. I just
This
picture
Put a lot of time into it.
I picture Morgan Freeman from Now You See Me as the hoax hunter.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Oh.
Here are all the names. He doesn't talk. He's a like eraser head looking white guy. Yeah. Well, that's our John Titor episode, and it's a fun one. I think we're gonna have to bring back Niall Goes to Court. That was probably one of my favorite segments.
I had a great time doing that.
Right. Niall Goes to Court. You heard it here first. Is coming back.
Woo woo!
And you can follow us or send what you want us to hear about at weirdwidewebpod@gmail.com. Follow us on weirdwideweb.pod on Instagram to keep up with us and suggest, topics there as well. Follow us on Twitter if that's more your ball game house thing at weirdwidewebpod. And follow us on YouTube at weirdwideweb. And Niall, I want to leave you with 10 pieces of advice from John Titor to prepare you for the future before we end our episode.
Oh, it's like the 10 Commandments.
Exactly.
You would know about that, right? It's Old Testament.
1. Do not eat or use products from any animal that is fed and eats parts of its own dead. 2. Do not kiss or have intimate relations with anyone you do not know. 3. Learn basic sanitation and water purification. 4. Be comfortable around firearms. Learn to shoot and clean a gun. 5. Get a good first aid kit and learn how to use it. 6. Find 5 people within 100 miles that you trust with your life and stay in contact with them. 7. Get a copy of the U.S. Constitution and read it. 8. Eat less. 9. Get a bicycle and 2 sets of spare tires. Ride it 10 miles a week. 10. Consider what you would bring with you if you had to leave your home in 10 minutes and never return. And those are our 10 tips of advice from John Titor on facing the world.
Wow. Guy's definitely from Tampa.
Stay away from crocodiles. 11. And that's John Titor. Thanks for joining me on another Weird Wide Web dive, Niall.
Wow, thank you for taking me to court, man.
Dude, did you feel good about it? You came in and you threw some words at me, and I couldn't understand them, so I took them as you knew what you were talking about.
And that is what I've been going for this whole podcast. So thank you.
Thank you.
Holy shit. I just took my 2007 Grand Cherokee and put it in forward and reverse, and somehow I was back in 1984. And, dude, this fucking Mackie guy, he's killing everyone. Got the guy with big tits. He's slitting everyone's throats. You